one factor alone. So.
You always talk about how it's just your job to catch the ball, and it doesn't really matter which quarterback is throwing it to you. But in that particular game, it looked like there were probably about like a half a dozen drops just amongst the pass catchers. What's your sort of philosophy on that when you have a new young quarterback in there and there's drop passes? Hard to adjust to a different ball coming in, or is that just like you just got to figure it out and catch the darn ball?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you drop the ball, it's only for one reason. It's because you didn't catch. No, just but no, it's because I mean, if you have a drop, that means it hit your hands and you didn't catch it. So I mean, ultimately, you can never blame a drop on the quarterback.
And the one that was the interception, what happened on that? Was that just I couldn't tell. Did that go off? Was that real high?
No, on the interception, that was I believe our one turnover in the game. I was supposed to have stronger hands there and just catch the ball.
When you look at that Broncos defense, how good do you think Sertan?
I think he's real good. I mean, I would expect nothing less, the son of an all-pro corner. So I actually, was a Dolphins fan growing up because I'm from Miami. So I watched him a little bit.
And then Simmons, the other guy that jumps out to you when you look at that second.
Yeah, Simmons actually jumps out a lot. I've been competing against him since I was at the Raiders because they were in the division. One of the things that stands out with him is, his ability to come down with the ball. Jump ball situations, generally the corners and especially the safeties don't have as much ball skills as us receivers. So you don't quite expect them to come down with a jump ball. But he's the type of player who can definitely accomplish that if given the opportunity. So, knowing that going into the game, just have to be, cognizant of it. If you're in a jump ball situation, make sure you're high pointing the ball, make sure you're using all your fundamentals.
Amari, when we talked to Kevin, you mentioned the amount of takeaways Denver's been getting in recent weeks. So for you and the other receivers, what can you guys do to help DTR take care of the football?
Yeah, the same thing I just mentioned, fundamentals, making sure we come back to the ball, every chance we get, not just standing there after we break off of our routes, actually coming back to the ball, cutting off the ability of the cornerback to undercut the ball, high pointing the ball, making sure we're assignment sound, make sure we know the game plan so there's as little mistakes as possible. Make sure we have strong hands, all the so-called little things. We have to make sure we're on it.
One of the best aspects of your guys' offense this season has been the deep ball to you. Is it important to still try to hit those shots even against a team that has so many takeaways and so many interceptions? Do you still have to kind of be aggressive, you think, and go for those explosives?
No, of course. A huge aspect of this game is field position. That's what you're fighting for at all times. You're fighting for a great field position because the probability of getting points when you have field position goes way up. And a great way of doing that is getting chunks, instead of just getting 3 or 4 yards of play. Trying to get some explosives when the opportunity is there so that you can have great field position, get a field goal, and ultimately a touchdown.
What does it mean to bring a guy like Joe Flacco in? Not necessarily who's going to play right away, but somebody who's as experienced as he's been and kind of done it all in the league?
Yeah, I think it's a phenomenal idea. Obviously, Joe Flacco is a guy who, growing up, we all watched. And especially with DTR back there being such a young player, a rookie, just having guidance, more guidance. So I think it's a phenomenal idea.
How many times have you had to play in that Mile High area?
Yeah, I've played there quite a few times, at least once a year when I was at Oakland, obviously, and a couple more times after that once I got out of the division. So it's definitely a challenge. They have Mile High written all over the stadium and locker rooms as some sort of, tactic. But, I mean, from my experience playing there, if you're in good shape, it doesn't affect you. If you're not in good shape, it does.
Hey, Mark, you guys are going to stay out there, right? Go to LA that week. Have you ever done that before? And Do you like that idea in the middle of the season?
Yeah, I have done that before at Oakland. We always traveled 2 days before the game because of the time difference. Gives our body an opportunity to adapt, and the flights were always really long, 4 or 5 hours. So we would go there 2 days before just to make sure our bodies were right on the actual game day. But yeah, had a couple situations where we would play like the Dolphins and then Tampa the week after, so we just stay in Florida. Um, it's a change of pace, I would say. Practicing all week from a different spot, staying at a hotel, things of that nature. But at the same time, if that's a decision that was made by the coaching staff and everybody else, then I'm sure it's the right decision.
Out for the season. How do you feel about your guys' chances of still achieving all your hopes and dreams this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's very unfortunate, for Deshaun to be out for the season. He had surgery Tuesday. I called him, made sure he was all right. And it sucks, he really wants to play. He really wants to be here. He really wants to be around us. So it's a terrible thing, but that's why football is the biggest team game. We all have his back, and we gonna have to pull together. So ultimately, it just gives us a challenge and an opportunity to see how together we are as a team. So I like our chances. I think the camaraderie in the locker room has been great, and we've been able to come together, fight, be resilient in the games enough to win. So yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.